Jason Pittmeyer and Tricia Wheeler, who are all incumbent city members of the school board, are tonight attending a regional meeting of schools from within whatever region that is, and they notified, all three of them notified the leader that they could not be here tonight because of that particular meeting. All right. You'll pass the microphone down to Mr. Shockey. That'll get me organized here. We'll start with you. Mr. Shockey, please tell us what you believe are the 2 or 3 most overall important educational priorities you will work on as a member of the Salem School Board for our Salem School District.
I think 3 of the educational priorities we need to focus on with the school board is education for all. We've got to focus on the high-end college degree jobs. We've got to focus on the lower workforce, jobs. People might maybe not get degrees, college degrees, and go out and work for in our community. We've got to focus on them two for sure, everything, not just certain groups of the students, all students, because we're going to have people go out in our community, farm, we're going to have people go out in the community and be lawyers, doctors, work in the workforce as far as factories and stuff like that. I think we need to focus on everybody. Everybody's important, and it's important to me.
Okay, the 3 that would come to my mind, first would be the graduation rate. Whether our students decide to go into the workforce or go to college, we need to get them to that point to have a high school degree. The high-risk students, when I worked for Big Brothers Big Sisters, I was in the schools a lot working with these students. And they're often the kids that fall through the cracks because it's hard for the teachers to find time to give them the extra attention they need, and they're not always getting it at home. So I think we need to make sure that those kids are not left behind. And there's been a lot of talk of increasing our enrollment. I think if you do these things and show that we have a good school and offer a good education, that our enrollment will come without us having to do anything else, proving that we have the best quality education and can get kids through graduation.
My name is Becky White, and I would like my goals. I would like to make sure that Salem is the top in District 12. I would like to see us be the top of the county. I'd like to increase the enrollment and the scores, the test scores. And first of all, and third of all, I guess, I'd like to help improve the quality of our students. We have some students that, that are actually hungry, and it's hard to do a math test when you're hungry. And I feel like this is something that needs attention. I feel like we need good communication skills as far as with the staff, as far as starting with the students, from the parents to the teachers, and making sure that their voices are heard. I feel like communication is so important, all the way to the custodians, who are the true background of the community, of the school, and also even the school bus drivers. They need to know how supported they are. They're the first ones to greet our children of a morning, and they're the last ones to leave them of an evening. So I feel like that's important, and improve relationship between community and board.
I'm Bill Suvak, and I certainly, it would be hard to disagree with anything that has been said. I do think that before I mention what I consider most important, and that's a difficult thing, but before I say that, I would just say that I think if you look around at other school systems, not necessarily nearby, but particularly in urban areas, and see what's going on, we're blessed with a good school system. At the same time, I've been around a long time, and I've never never seen a situation that couldn't be improved upon. I think it's, as has been said, I think it's critical that we provide an educational foundation for those who are going to enter the workforce directly from high school graduation, those who are going to go on to vocational training, and those that are going to go on to college. Not everybody is the same, and not one plan fits all.
So, Mr. Sumac, we'll start with you. Please tell us the qualities that you'll bring to the Salem School Board that may not be there now that you believe make you a good candidate to be on the board.
Well, that's a tough one, too. The board, as it is now constituted, is made up of very good people. That certainly isn't the issue. I think that I do bring a couple of things. As you can tell by looking at me, some age and some experience. I've been in business for many, many years. I have an appreciation for what the needs of employers are in the way of an educated workforce. Just from the standpoint of the board itself, over many years, I've served on a number of boards. I've presided over a couple. And I think I have a good understanding of how to work in a board environment, how to push an agenda towards goals. I think I can continue the work that has been going on, and again, you learn more when you're on the inside looking out than when you're on the outside looking in. So.
All right, I feel that I have got a background. I'm a graduate of Salem High School, so I'm very passionate about Salem High School. I feel that it's important to have that where you stay involved, and I feel like that, with the students, communication, I guess. I feel like I'm one person, I think this whole building would know that I'm very approachable. I have an ear for listening, and I have a heart for loving and caring. I feel that I will bring a diversity to the school board. I feel that I have creative ideas, I have a vision, and I have a lot to give. And I feel like for our school systems, and I do think that we have got a great school system. And I think that just like with what Bill said, I think everything, you never stop at just saying we're great. You always keep wanting to succeed and always achieve better, and always keep those visions out there. And that's what I would like a chance to do if I am elected for school board meetings.
For sure, the first thing that would set me apart from anyone else on the board is that I've actually worked in the schools, from substitute teaching to running after-school programs like Afternoons Rocks at both the elementary and the middle schools. I spoke briefly about my job with Big Brothers Big Sisters. I was in the school 2 or 3 days a week working with students at the elementary, middle, and high school, as well as the teachers on a day-to-day basis. Day-to-day communication about the students. I don't think we have anybody on the board that can give us that insight, and I'd like to do that. I'd like to be a voice for the teachers, a voice for the students, for the administrators, and I'm looking forward to bringing that.
I think I got a lot of insight on what I could do to help the school and the school board. I was raised on a farm. And I also appreciate everybody coming out, community support. We're all coming out here. We're volunteering our time to make the school better. I got 3 children in the school. I was in Salem High School, middle school, elementary school. Not a politician. I think when I get in there, I'm going to bring honesty, no political influence, no influence from anybody that I think wants to push their influence on me. When you're going to get an honest opinion from me. You ain't going to get the opinion of somebody else. You're going to get what's best for the students, the school, faculty, taxpayers, everybody, without any push or stress on me. You're going to get an honest opinion from me. That's what I'm bringing to the school.
Anybody respond? Okay. Start up Shock, if you'll give it to Monica, we'll let her start this question. Over the past several years, we've seen actually, because of some issues that have arisen in the public, that the legislature has become more involved in telling schools what they will and they will not do. And that seems to fly somewhat in the face of having a local school board to be in control of the school. What do you see as the role of the local school board, and how would you propose to keep more local control over the school instead of again letting the legislature mandate what will occur in the schools?
Okay, well, I believe the role of a school board member is to hire and advise the leadership of the school corporation. We can affect that locally. It's important for the corporation to be led by a superintendent who shares the board's vision. We can't do anything locally. I know a lot of people talk to me about the amount of testing that goes on in the schools. I have a third grader, and I've expressed my concern too about how much the teacher is out of the class and giving tests instead of in the classroom with her and her classmates. I know that there's not a lot we can do as a board except to call your local legislative person and let them know your concerns. Otherwise, what we would do locally is just to keep supporting our administration, supporting our teachers, and helping to give our kids a good education.
Well, I feel that with kind of like what Monica said though, about with the board, I feel like we have limits. I think that I've been doing a lot of research and going to the school board meetings, sometimes their hands are tied, and I know that it's not just made up of one person. Of course, I'll be a team, and of course, working well with the administration, and of course, working with the staff, and finding out the needs of the students and the parents. I feel that I have with the communication, and I feel that I have tools and that I can bring to the school board. And as far as bringing up the test scores, I'd like to see if we can do some of that. And I feel like our teachers make sure that they understand that we are very supportive of them. I think that's so important. And knowing that that with the testing that's done sometimes can be very difficult, because sometimes you can have a bad day and take that test and it might not be the best test, so
We, of course, as the board, I should say, is constrained to follow the law, whether that be state requirements or federal requirements. I do believe strongly that to the extent possible, control should be in the hands of the local municipality. But again, we are constrained to follow the law. We can and should, as a board, try to influence what takes place in Indianapolis particularly to meet the needs of our students here in Salem. We, as a board, the board is charged, as has been mentioned, with assuring that the administration is first quality, is strong. We need to be sure we continue to have first quality educators, and that the educators that we have and the administration work together as a team to educate our youth. I was expecting that.
You're close.
That was close.
I apologize for Paul.
I heard something ring, and
You'll pass that down to Mr. Shockey.
You guys have an innate sense of time anyway. Everybody's pretty well right after.
I think it's a good thing that local people are involved in the school board, having Washington County people involved in the school board, because we're involved. We got kids. We know what's going on in this county. State people don't know what's going on. They're out of touch. I think it's a good thing. So on that issue, it's a good thing that we're involved. I mean, I know I got students. I get everyday things that happen at school that could be addressed, and if they're brought to my attention on the school board, that I got a lot of experience on that side. I'll be able to know, if it's a bad day to take a test, or if it's a bad day to, if you get kicked out of school or whatever it is, I'm gonna take everything in all the facts, all the opinions in, and make the best decision in my ability to keep these kids educated and make sure they have a successful life, because it starts here.
You'll pass it down to Ms. White. We'll let her start this last question. Salem is integrating a new calendar into the school year. I know the school board in the past has worked on it. There's been pros and cons talked about the balanced calendar. What is your position on the balanced calendar?
Well, I'm one of those, I guess, oddball mothers. I have 6 daughters, and I love to be with my daughters, and I love them home, and I enjoy that. But I do believe that education, and I know that a lot of times, you know, to get everything in education, and sometimes the having the extra days are needed, you know what I mean? And I do believe the structure. I know my daughters, you know, as much as I love them home, I do know that towards the end of the summer, they're ready to get back into their routine and learning. You know, their brains are sponges, so I think it's important, you know, for them to stay busy and stay active. So I really don't mind if they add a few more days, but of course I feel like that might be something I need to research a little bit more. I'm not a board member. I've never been a board member, but that's one thing that I feel like that I will definitely do is research and do a little bit more homework maybe on that.
Pass it one way or the other, it doesn't matter.
Certainly the curriculum, the quality of the educators, those are key. The amount of days or hours necessary to reach the goals, that's obviously important. As far as how that is calendared and how that is laid out, like Becky said, I'm not on the inside. I read and I hear. I'll admit I have more to learn on that. I will say, though, in response to the question, or at least as I understand the question, that perhaps if I have a concern, it comes from the perspective that I know that when our 3 children went through the Salem schools when we were younger, that it was nice to have blocks of time when you could take family vacations and do things with other people. And when that's broken up, that could be a bit of a scheduling conflict and create some family issues. But again, as I prefaced, I have more to learn.
I like the idea of the new calendar year. Like we've been talking about with the testing, unfortunately our kids are being tested a lot. So the more time off they have, the more they forget some of the things they've learned. And just coming off a week of fall break, that was nice. We used to have 2 days when I was in school. So I think it gives families a nice break in the fall to get away. I think they get 2 weeks off for Christmas, which is nice. 2 weeks for spring break if we don't get crazy snow like we did last year and we only got 1 week. But having the shorter summer is nice because, like Becky was talking about with routine, I know a lot of kids thrive better with a routine. In the 6 weeks seems to be a good length of time off, a good break from school, and they're ready to go back early August, or at least we are at our house. So
I think the balanced school schedule is different. You know, you got to look at everything. You got to look at the kids involved in fair projects. You know, they had to push that back a little bit. You got to, you know, home stuff. You know, the vacations is great. You know, I don't take many vacations, but I think, you know, something also I need to look at when I get inside, look at all the variables, and we'll make a good decision on what's best for the students. And it's always education's what matters, not vacations or whatever. So I think when I get in there, I can make a good decision on the school board about whether that's a good idea or a bad idea. I mean, we go back and forth on that. I do enjoy time with my children. I think that discipline is a big thing, and the more time you have with your children at home, you can discipline them more. Discipline's a big thing in school. You know, teachers have a hard time getting people to stand behind them on that. I think that We need to raise strong young men and women in this community. I'll help do that.
Well, Mr. Shockey, we'll let you conclude with the beginning, the closing statements, and we'll move with Mr. Suban.
Like I said, my name is Aaron Spud Shockey. My name is Spud. I got that a long time ago on the farm, and that's what people know me by. So if you hear Aaron Shockey out there, nobody will probably know who that is. It's Spud Shockey. I'm running for Salem School Board at large, and I'm interested in security. A big thing, I think the police are doing a great job with security in the schools. You continue to work along with them. Eric Mills, I know he's got a new police dog. Wouldn't mind having to see him running around a little more out here. I know the kids like that, little kids for sure. Extracurricular activities, I feel that that's a big thing. Bullying is a big issue, not too many people pay attention to. And community input, students, faculty, taxpayers, and parents. You get me on there, I'll make the right decisions. Thank you.
My name is Monica Spalding, and I am a 1997 graduate of Salem High School and a 2001 graduate of Indiana University Bloomington. I am married to John Spalding, who is a current county council member. My parents are Norman and Ann Terrell, and my mom gave over 30 years of her career to Salem Community Schools and was the first woman ever elected to the Salem School Board. I obviously was raised with a strong passion for education, and I am instilling that same love to my daughters, Ellie, Abby, and Katie, who all attend school here. And my profession has always involved education, from being an education reporter to Big Brothers Big Sisters and to subbing, as well as my involvement with the Washington County Substance Abuse Council, where I work with teachers and what we can do to help kids who have trouble with drugs.
All right, my name is Becky White, and I'm a mother of 6 daughters, and I actually am a 1985 graduate of Salem High School. I am married to Greg White. He's a 1985 graduate. I attended IUS in New Albany, and I have 3 daughters that have graduated and 3 daughters that are currently in the school system. So I have been very invested. I'm also a member of the Chamber of Commerce. I'm the first lady Rotarian. I was with the Bicentennial Committee, Old Settlers Days. I'm a CMNA member, IBA, NBA, and KBA. I do believe that the school system, I hope this is not taken out of text. It is a business. It's our biggest business in our community, if you think about how many employed are by the school. Also, I have been very involved from classroom parties at the elementary school, field trips, 8th grade dances, career days. I MC the high school prom, band contest, even announced soccer, and first on every Friday on WSL we have Wade World. So I feel like I can be that bridge to the community.
I've got to take it from Becky. I was not born in Indiana, but I've lived in Salem for over 43 years. We have 3 children who graduated from Salem, the Salem Community School System. We currently have 3 grandchildren who are enrolled in the various schools in the school system, with more coming up. So even though I didn't graduate here, I love Salem. I love the Salem Community School System. It's too bad that the incumbents had a conflict with the state board meeting tonight, because it would have been good to hear their input also. But regardless of who winds up filling the 3 seats, I think everybody's heart is in the right place. I would like your vote. I would like an opportunity to do what I can. And I think I can do quite a bit to help advance educational quality in Salem Community Schools.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are your candidates for the Salem Community School Board. Now, quickly, as there is a candidate here who is running unopposed, please stand. Mr. Cockrell, do you want to announce your